2019 to express support for that, not because our region is desperate for revitalization, not because government agencies across city, state, and federal jurisdictions have not paid attention to what each other are doing for the past 30 years, and we need this. Not for that reason at all. I want to talk about, or actually that's part of the reason that I want to talk about why we support the, I believe it's Section 380 amendment here, or a motion. Per United States, I'm going to give you some background information. Per the United States Census Bureau data, in the 4.5 square miles surrounding the Spring Branch portion of this proposed agenda item number 19, the density of households living in apartments is 60%, very dense compared to the 38% that's for general Houston area. So 60% live in apartments. If you would sit with me for 30 minutes, you know that this is not melodramatic when I say I believe one of the greatest tragedies in the history of our government is that separate hands of local, state, and federal government have not paid attention to what each other is doing. They've blindfolded each other, and as a result, the harm has been seeded in this region for 30 years. Of this high density of apartments, a full 51% of them are governmentally subsidized, low-income apartments. So density, low-income. And so I've got the attachments here if anybody cares to see them. I'll hold them up at the risk of my 3 minutes expiring. A lot of blue. Blue and red represent apartments. Blue, 51% are low-income, governmentally subsidized, which nobody would argue helping people in need is important. Nobody would argue with the fact that housing is needed when people need that type of thing. But what is important is the balance to that. And so, it sounds like I'm not talking about the topic, but it comes right back around to what's going on. It's very important to get this background. So the cities and the states and the federal government have all awarded money left and right to these government apartments without paying attention to what each other is doing. For 30 years, this region of Houston has been suppressed, and what has resulted is a paradigm of poverty. You stack poverty on poverty, and what happens? People, all they live with, all they grow up with is poverty. And you can go in and you can see it for 30 years. That's what's been going on in this region. Now we have the chance for the first time since I've been paying attention to this, and I've lived in Spring Branch for my whole life, all 40 years, and for the first time since I've been really paying attention, the first time to create some economic incentive to revitalize this region. If you keep stacking poverty, the people, that's all they're going to know, and that's all that we see. The schools will tell you that the student population do not perform as well, and so I encourage you to pass motion agenda number 19.
Thank you, sir. Your time is certified. Councilman Short.
Mayor, may I allow him to extend his time?
You may yield some.
I'd like to yield my time. Chris Hayes.
Thank you, Brenda.
Thank you, Councilmember. I got most of it, and I just want to reiterate, this will take one more minute, is that you have the opportunity to pass agenda number 19. It's very important to this region. We've been working closely with this developer. He has a reputation for doing good work. The students, the children, the families deserve to see a balance of economic diversity in this region, and that does not exist. If you don't see what hope lies in front of you or could be, you will be stuck with the paradigm, and that hope needs to be there. If 50% of the housing is subsidized low-income housing, what do we expect in 20 years of these people? What do we expect of these people? So I ask you to take a look at that. I also ask that you would look at this resolution and that it wouldn't just, you look carefully at what you're approving. We encourage that it would be not just limited, that it would be limited to single-family homes. Townhomes, we have a density issue. I recognize that in this part of the area there is a caveat that at least that up to 1/3 can be townhomes. We have a very dense area, so I would just put that into the record that we would, I'm from Binglewood as well, would encourage that to be reconsidered, that it would be limited to purely houses and not townhomes. I encourage City Council to take the blindfolds off and take a look at what the right hand and the left hand are doing across governmental entities and help the people of this region.
Chris, thank you for coming down. I really appreciate your support. Once again, y'all are the driving force behind my work on this issue, and I can tell you again, we've worked many months on this issue. The mayor has to make note that we started on this before we even hit the office, that this is an issue that I brought forward, that these 100 acres, or the 40 of the 100 acres at the very least, are very important to predictability and moving forward the entire area. So I appreciate your support on this issue, and I encourage my colleagues, if you have any questions, this is one of the experts, along with the other citizens that are here. He has actually done the studies, and once again, he's pointed out that we've got subsidized housing here, subsidized at this level, different federal, state, local, whatever it is, and no one knows what they're granting, and they're overlapping, and it's created a real issue. If you really want to help the folks in that area, we need to make a difference and change and bring back the middle income of this area as it was when I grew up and when Chris grew up. We're not too far in age, but if we can focus on that fact that we're doing the right thing for everyone involved, I think this is the way to move. Thank you.
For the